Good morning, another beautiful day here in Griffin, Indiana. As you can see, we spent a little bit of money on our motel room and food and things like that, but today should be another very successful day. Let's start our day by heading out to the store. We don't have a big plan today besides finding more tree work. That could be tree trimming, that could be logging, it could be anything. But we know that makes us the most money so far and really is the most efficient. That's why we got rid of our mowing setup in the previous episode. Go ahead and turn on our lights. It's still pretty early in the morning. I like to get an early start when we're really limited on time like this. I'm hoping that this morning the store might have something on sale that will help us. If not, I'm just going to do a little bit of shopping to set goals as to what we need to get to step up our logging game. Let's go take a look and see what these folks have for us. As far as items on sale, nothing very useful for us. All farming equipment, which we're just not into yet. This baler's kind of nice, but pretty expensive, and we don't have a tractor to run it. So there's a couple of things I've been thinking about. One is we need a way to lift up bigger logs. Now, the obvious option is a front loader, but as you can see, the price is very high. Though we could get the Schaefer, $23,000. We're not far off from that, actually. That might actually fit on our trailer as well. It's pretty skinny. We also would need a tool for the front of it, which I believe there would be a log fork available here. Yeah, one of these log forks would be nice. And it can just do so many other things as well. It can scoop stuff. We can use it for pallets, all these sorts of things. But $23,000 is a lot of money. We're not quite there yet. We could look at skid steers, which are sometimes more affordable, though in this case you can see absolutely not. The other thing that we could do is take a look at forestry trailers that have their own crane. I don't love using these necessarily just because they can be a little bit tedious, but if it lets us lift bigger logs, I'm all for it. And we do have a really affordable option here at $19,000. The nice thing is we can pull this with our truck, I believe. So it would replace our current trailer and we don't have to haul any extra equipment with us, which would be a really nice setup. We could use the truck bed for the smaller pieces and then use this thing to pick up the larger ones. So $19,000 would be a good upgrade for us. Let's take a look and see what else is in here. Of course, we've got a lot of mulchers, a big trailer, some bigger equipment, nothing we need there. So this $19,000 might be kind of a target for us because it kind of makes the most sense. The other thing we could do is go for a small tractor. I believe there are some affordable options here. Not really, just these little micro tractors, and they can't do a front loader. So the thing is, we need something that is small but can handle a front loader. And it doesn't look like any of these really can do that for us. So I think our goal is going to be the trailer we looked at, though. I don't know. I'm kind of attracted by this as well. So I guess depending on what we end up with, we have to have a little bit left over for our motel room and food and stuff. But if we can make, say, $24,000 or a little over that, this might be worth trying. Of course, we need the tool for the front too. But otherwise, the $19,000 logging trailer is probably going to make a lot of sense. But I think first things first, we have to figure out how we're going to make some money today. And I think today I'm going to look around in town for tree trimming jobs because I can charge for the job plus get paid for the lumber. Now, it might not be as good as what we made from our logging work yesterday, but I think it will be okay at least. That one looks okay. We're basically looking for trees that need to be taken out. Nothing really there, though there are some kind of bushy trees here. Let's take a look at this situation because I see this one tree here that could probably go. Yeah, this is definitely a good candidate. Let's walk around and see if anybody is home. Oh, is this the motel? It is not. This is a business, though. Oh, it's a bank, and it looks like they're not open yet. So maybe we'll circle back around, but we're really looking for residential places, though. I guess if a business would pay us for removing a couple of small trees, I wouldn't mind that. Let's go on down here, and we'll come back up the main strip and kind of see if we can find any trees in yards and things like that that need to be trimmed. So this lot actually has a for sale sign on it, and I called the realtor to see if they would like the trees on it cleaned up a little bit, and they actually said they just want everything removed as far as trees go. I told them I don't do grass, bushes, those sorts of things, but that I could get rid of the trees. 1, 2, small 1, 3, 4. And they agreed to pay $1,000 for me to get rid of these trees and haul them off. That is a very good job for today. So we have $1,000 from the job itself, plus whatever we get for the trees. That is not something I'm going to argue with. Let's start with this big boy over here. Now, these are going to be tedious trees to deal with. That's why the price is a little bit higher than the cleanup job, plus even though we're not doing mowing and things like that. Now, stump removal is something I did not offer, but that's something that I should probably consider getting into in the future. And I did ask them how much this little lot was. It's actually zoned for commercial, so they said you could put a business or something here. I asked them how much it was, and they said it was only $10,000 because it's a foreclosure. So they're just trying to kind of get rid of it at this point. And they figured removing the trees would make it more attractive to businesses that want to build here. But honestly, at $10,000, kind of a tempting little lot. We'll see. Today, if I don't get enough to start getting into some heavier logging equipment like that trailer, then I might consider buying this land. That would be great. We could set up a little workshop, maybe someplace to sleep and store equipment, and then we wouldn't have to pay the motel anymore. That would be fantastic, actually. And a lot of this tree is just going to mulch up really nicely, which is great. It's not going to take too long. I'm being kind of haphazard cutting this, but it's really just kind of a garbage tree, to be honest. No offense, tree. I'm sorry. Kind of a garbage tree. So it's not going to have a lot of value to me. Really, the value in this job is going to be the $1,000 we get paid by the realtor who told us to clean this up. So that's that. We'll pull the truck around and kind of pick everything up once it's all cut and trimmed. Let's get this one cleaned up. This is kind of a bigger portion here. Almost looks like another little tree there, doesn't it? There we go. Get it limbed. I really should upgrade to a chainsaw at some point. This hand axe is really starting to wear me out, especially on some of these bigger jobs. After this job, we might be able to afford the upgrade. Get this one cleaned up a little bit. I can already tell these pieces of wood are going to be super haunted, but we'll do our best to kind of get them stacked on the trailer in a reasonable way. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Can we pick that up? No, I'm going to have to cut that in half at least. I'm not ready to start loading everything yet, but I want to make sure we can when the time comes. That one's too heavy. I'm really curious what we're going to make just from selling the logs here. There we go. And hopefully we'll be able to finish this job in a day rather than the last one that took us so long to do. I do think with our new setup we'll be much faster. This is another one of those garbage trees. I know these trees are probably, sick and tired of being made fun of. But to be honest with you, that's the only thing I can think of to call them. I think no matter what I call them, it would be offensive. So garbage trees it is. Basically, they're just too small to really be worth anything. Now this one's the big one. This is where the money's at, I think. We shall see what the lumber mill gives us. Oh my. Yep, super haunted. Definitely. This land might be slightly cursed based on the behavior of this wood. I'm starting to think I should charge more for this type of tree. They're really very tedious. Gotta go limb by limb all the way up the tree to get it cleaned up. Very time consuming. But it's not even 10 o'clock yet, so I think we're okay for today. If you're new to the series, This is day 7, and each episode is actually one in-game day. So I'm limited to what time I have in an actual day in Farming Simulator. And I set the time scale to be 10x. So it does go by fairly quickly, but I still have enough time to get things done, which is kind of the goal. I also have it set to, I think, 3-day months. So we're on October 3rd. That means tomorrow will be November 1st, which means we're going to start having to deal with some winter weather, I think. Assuming this map, which is Griffin, Indiana, is accurate to Indiana weather. We could get some snow in November. And I think this is the final few cuts here. Get it cut tiny enough to pick up. Now, this one's kind of big, so I may have to cut little slices here to make it carryable. That's where that trailer really would come in handy, or a front loader. We could really just leave these quite a bit bigger and still be able to pick them up and carry them around. I feel like that has to be our next equipment upgrade if we're going to keep logging. I don't think we can start farming yet, just because it takes such a large amount of equipment to start up, and we just don't have it. And it's going to be a while before we can afford it. It's kind of a judgment call, because our goal is to hit $100,000. But if we get to 50 and spend $50,000 on farming equipment, is that really going to get us closer to our goal? I don't know. So that's something definitely to think about. All right, let's get these logs gathered up. We'll start with the biggest one over here and see how we do. Get some of these chunky pieces in the back of the pickup here. It tends to do a good job carrying these. This one's a little longer, so I think I'll stick it in here. Not there. There. Start building up kind of an area where I can stick some of these longer, more awkward limbs on this trailer. That didn't work at all. No big deal. Set this guy right here. Probably going to make a few trips, but I think the sawmill is just up the road, so it's not going to be too crazy. Did that one stay? It did. Perfect. These are the time-consuming bits here. Just these little limbs, little pieces. That one needs cleaned up quite a bit, doesn't it? Get that cleaned up. There we go. But we're making very good progress, and this is the largest tree. So once we're done with this, we will have pretty much everything ready to go, and only a couple of trips probably for the rest of the wood. No big deal. For being haunted wood, this is actually stacking surprisingly well. Hope I didn't just jinx myself or curse myself. Maybe it's cursed wood. Hopefully not. There we go. I never noticed that windmill over there. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know they had wind power here. Very cool. Now onto these little chunks. Let's see if we can get them in the back of the truck. The truck is sagging quite a bit, but I think we're going to be able to do this tree. If I can do one load per tree, I'm winning in my mind. Much better than what we were doing before with that old wooden wagon and a mower. We've already come so far. It's really shocking. I love the sense of steady forward progress. And, starting from scratch in a new town, I think we're doing pretty good. Let's see if we can put this over on this side. I think that's that entire tree. Look how much better that looks. Now the stump's still there. Again, that's something I wouldn't mind, finding a solution for. But at the moment, stump grinding is not something we're really equipped to do. Get everything strapped in and off to the sawmill. First load of the day. Very exciting. We'll see how much we get from this tree on top of our $1,000 payment for just clearing the land. Now that tree is not part of that lot, I don't believe. So we don't need to worry about it. Yeah, this truck is really struggling. It's driving fine, but the rear suspension is just not having it. Here we are back to Miller's Sawmill with our first load of the day. We'll run in and see what they'll give us for this load. I hope it's a good one. $1,157. Not mad at that at all. That's a fantastic income for a tree that we're already getting paid to haul off. Back to the property to keep cleaning this up. And really not much left to do. What a quick little job. I'm very surprised, actually. I don't know that I expected it to be this fast when I quoted it, but I think the speed is more a symptom of our upgraded equipment and setup than anything. And we can't penalize ourselves for being faster at our job, right? That's where hourly labor instead of project labor becomes a debate. Do we charge by the hour and make less money because we're faster and then have to increase our hourly rate? I don't know. I feel like $1,000 for this job is more attractive than $500 an hour, which is what we would have had to charge to make a similar amount of money in the amount of time it's going to take us to do this. I mean, if somebody came to you and said, hey, I'll get rid of these trees for $500 an hour, I don't think I would do it. Because with hourly work, you also, if you don't know the person, there's a sense of trust that has to be there to ensure that they are not going to sit there and take 8 hours to do a 4-hour job just so they make more money. It's a whole other debate. But as a small business owner in a small town, it's definitely something we have to consider. Yeah, we're not going to make near as much from this load of wood, I don't think. But we'll probably make, $400 or $500, which is a good amount of money on top of what we're getting paid for the project. This trailer is making all the difference. Really a testament to using the right tools for the job. And this truck bed is helping out a lot as well. And that really wasn't a big investment at all. I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. Probably need to trim it a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. We'll just chop it up and mulch it. That's perfect. Then we don't have to carry it. See what you are all about. You're not going to fit in the truck bed. You're too long. But you'll fit right there. We don't have far to go, so we can load this kind of haphazardly. Some of these are so small. I'm going to see if I can just chop them up, mulch them into the ground, save ourselves having to load them up, because they're not going to be worth any money at all. Here's another little piece, and I think we have one more. And is that it? It sure looks like it. Wow, what a transformation, really, for this property. It does look quite a bit better. The realtor's actually going to meet us here. They were supposed to be here at noon, but they're not here yet. So I think we can probably get this load of logs off and then meet them back there at the property. Let's go ahead and make predictions as to how much money this load of wood is worth. I'm going to say my best guess is going to be like $385. Let's see how close we can get. Here's the moment of truth. How much are we going to get? $448. I wasn't too far off. I was going to say $450. I should have said $450. I would have been way closer. $385. Not quite, but hey, I'm not mad about getting more. Let's get back to the land. Oh, it does look like we have a straggling log in there. That's okay. Let's get back to the property and talk to this realtor and get our money for the project. That was a fast little project. We may even be able to do more work. In fact, look at this lot. Yeah, this one definitely needs cleaned up. Oh, I found another piece that I forgot. Let's get that cleaned up. Gotta do great work here. Word of mouth is everything at this stage in our career. There's no room to cut corners. And now we wait. And the realtor showed up pretty quickly and paid us our $1,000 cash. They said they may have a few other properties around town where they would like me to clean up. And they did say that the property isn't spoken for and that they'd be happy to sell it to me if I can get the funds together. So $10,000 is the asking price. I'm wondering if they would take a little less. Maybe I can do one more job today. That land we found down here. Let's see if they have anything that they want trimmed. Really, a small job would do it. Yeah, there's a bunch over there. Let's just park here. I have a feeling this is owned by one of the houses around here. Or maybe that business. It doesn't look occupied for sure. And a couple of these trees could certainly go. This one right here definitely looks like it's a little close to this building. All right, let's pop into the store here. Not through the back door. That would be sketchy. Is this the... Oh, this is a restaurant. Okay. Well, let's go talk to these folks. Well, I did a walk around with the owner, and they actually do own this lot, but they're not interested in any work on the trees. I think there might have been a carbon monoxide leak in that restaurant because I just saw some flying deer. Oh boy. Anyways, they're not interested in any work on the trees at the moment because they have to get that approved by the franchise owner. So not going to be able to do anything here today, but they did say to stop back by at some point and ask. This would be a good job, especially if they wanted it cleared completely to build. That would be huge. I left them my number and they said that the franchise owner will call me if they're interested. Or I can stop back by. So let's see if we can find another job. We need to make maybe $2,000 and then we'll be able to buy that land. Well, look at this. This is another good candidate. Oh, this is the land where we actually bought this truck. What a small world. It definitely needs a cleanup. And I know the person who owns the land, because I bought the truck from them. And I see a perfect tree to quote right there, right by that barn. Let me give them a call real quick and we'll see if they're interested in having me clean this up a little bit. And when I called them, they knew the exact tree I was talking about. They told me I could come on the property and take a look. They do want this one gone. And there's another one by this shed over here that they'd like cleaned up. The ones back there, they're not too worried about. But this one here, they want it gone as well. So this is our second job. And since they sold me that truck and made me such a good deal, I told them I'd do this job for $500. Normally, I'd probably charge a little bit more for this because it's going to take probably a good portion of what's left of the day. But the trees aren't that big. And I like having a good relationship with people, especially when I know that they have ties to the farming community around here. They actually used to farm this land back before the town grew up, or rather their grandparents did. And, well, look at that. I can grab the whole thing. Fantastic. Anyways, they used to farm this land, and then it was a very small family farm, and then they bought that land over there. So that's them. And now they have, hundreds of acres that they farm. So that is a good connection to have in this type of community. Let's see if we can fit this whole thing on our trailer. Probably going to have to cut it at least a little bit. A little bit. More than a little bit. Let's cut there. Perfect. And then just get this guy up on there properly. That was a surprisingly fast removal. The other one probably won't be. But let's see. Also, let's turn off our lights. There we go. Don't want to run our battery down. That would be a bad situation. This looks easy enough. It's not that much bigger than the other one, but I don't think I'll be able to just pick up the whole thing. Let's find out. Nice and easy to cut. These are the jobs, man. $500 for this plus selling the wood. I think we're going to be in pretty good shape here. Just clean it up a little bit. And look at this. Not too heavy. I'm going to have number 2 over here on the truck. Looking really good today. Let's trim this before I try to put it on there. This is almost like Christmas tree size. Really interesting. Big enough that you don't want it to fall in your barn, though. That was the main thing that they said. And that's actually what I brought up when I called them, is you really don't want a tree like this next to a barn like that. Let me close their gate. Perfect. And I did just get a new way for people to pay me on the phone. It's an app where they can just pay an invoice that I send them. And that way I don't have to necessarily meet up with everybody to get paid, which is super handy. The realtor wasn't really interested in using it. They're kind of old school, but that's okay. This guy said he'll pay me over the app, which is perfect. Let's see what we get for these 2 little trees. $297, not bad. We'll take it. Now let's send the invoice and get paid for the job. Money received, $500, and we now have $9,258 in the bank, which is not enough to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to buy a piece of logging equipment, but honestly, with all these jobs we're finding around town, these small jobs, we might be okay to, not pay for any equipment upgrades for a minute. We got a little bit of time left in the day, so I'm just going to drive up this back road here And there's that property that we cleaned up, looking very good still. Still not occupied. Interesting. And this house is so nice. I love the style. I love the backyard. I love that they have an actual crop back there. Very cool. Just looking for tree trimming opportunities here. I think tomorrow we will go back out to that land where we did some real logging and probably try to make a deal with them to do some more real logging out there. There's a lot of these little lots here, a lot of lots where, you know, there isn't really a house, but there are a lot of trees, which is really interesting. I didn't see anything there at the moment, but that's okay. We'll just make a couple of loops through town and see what we can find before our daylight runs out. While we're doing that, I am going to make a call to that realtor, because having a piece of land would be such a huge milestone for us. We could even put a little shed on it to store equipment and ourselves secretly, because probably they won't allow us to live in a shed in this town. But we could totally start making a little homestead for ourselves, or a little business anyways. There are a lot of trees right here. I wonder if they would want those cleaned up. I don't know. They look kind of intentional. Let's assume that they don't. Oh, looks like they have a little farmer's market here sometimes. That's nice. That's a beautiful building. Might be a restaurant or something. Back to that property we cleaned up. And I didn't really see any opportunities there, but I'm going to keep looking and see what we can come up with here. I've actually never been to this side of town. Interesting. There is a dairy there. What is this? Is this just a big parking lot? How interesting. This would be great for parking equipment. I don't have any equipment to park, but it would be good. Okay. Here we have one that looks like old growth. They don't have any other old growth on the property. Let's pull in here and see what these folks have to say. What is this? Looks like a business of some kind. Try not to knock over their bicycles. Oh, this is a school, right? Yeah, this has to be a school. Okay. Yeah, let's quit just walking around without talking to somebody. Let's go see if they have any interest in having that tree taken down. Go find the office. That's the first challenge. They did say that they are happy to have this tree taken down. It's leaning a little bit, so it was a concern, and that's exactly what I told them, is that it's going to come down on the neighbor's property eventually. And it's actually got evidence of kind of a beetle infestation. So I think that's a good move on their part. They're happy to have it removed. I quoted them $1,000 because, you know, we got to start charging for our time. Time is limited, and removing trees is not easy work, especially that type of tree. So let's get over here. We'll get it felled and get it loaded up. It might be our last job of the day. We are going to start losing light soon. I did have to move my truck because there was some traffic using that alley, so I moved it on down there. I can reverse it a little bit if I need to, but we're going to go ahead and cut this tree down for the school here. Right over. Perfect. And yeah, let's get this limbed up a little bit. Looking pretty good already. Get that one cleaned up. There we go. I do think our next equipment upgrade should probably be a chainsaw, because I'm going to be honest, my shoulders and my back are just really sore from swinging this axe. And I'm able to kind of chop up some of those smaller pieces so I don't have to haul them. Now these are the big boys. Let's see what we can do here. Still too heavy. Let's cut these in half. Not too bad. There we go. I think that lady just came out from the office to spy on me, if I'm honest with you. They knew who I was from the work I did for the town, and my reputation is starting to get around because I've done a lot of jobs here and there. So it wasn't really a hard sell. And to be honest with you, it seems like there's not an established tree trimming service in this town. I think there is another town over from what I've heard, but they don't come here that often. So it's like you have to schedule the work to be done on like a Thursday once a month or something. So people have been really receptive to having somebody local to do this kind of work for them. It seems like a right place, right time kind of situation, which if you keep your eyes open for opportunities, you end up having more luck than you'd expect sometimes. So I know I'm getting $1,000 from this job. I'm going to get some money from the wood. I think I'm going to call that realtor and make an offer on that land, but I'm not going to offer $10,000, which is what they're asking. I'm going to offer $8,500 and see if the owner counters. I'm going to take a quick break here and make that call. I just got off the phone with the realtor, and they said that they think that offer's a little low, but not completely out of the realm of possibility, because that lot has been for sale for a little while. And the issue with it is that it's commercially zoned, so people can't buy it to build a house necessarily. But most of the businesses around here that need land need more land than that. So it's just kind of an in-between size. And so she said it could be a possibility that the owner will take less. So I guess we'll find out. Hopefully we get a call back here soon. It is starting to get a little dark here. I think I mentioned it before, but some kind of a work light setup would also be really, really nice. I'll have to take a look at what's available. Boy, that trailer's really just kind of hanging out there, isn't it? Get these strapped in, and I'm gonna run in and get our pay from the school for removing this tree. Let's see, let's see if we can chop this tree stump up for them a little bit. Oh yeah, that's much better. Let's get it way down into the ground. There we go. Yeah, that's worth $1,000. And there's our pay for the tree. Look at our bank account, $10,248. That's not bad. And we still have this tree to sell. Let's go see what we can do here. Oh, that's bouncy. I can tell I've got a lot of weight in the rear of this truck. I'm gonna go straight across here, stay off the main roads so we can go nice and slow. To be honest with you, time-wise, I think we're actually making a better profit from these tree trimming jobs than from the logging. But the logging has a lot more scale. There's a potential for a lot more money there than with tree trimming jobs, because, you know, you get to a certain point and people just don't want to pay that amount for the work we're doing. So that's definitely our goal. But for now, this is working just perfectly to get us started. This does seem like a hefty load of logs. I think we might make more from this than I thought. Let's see. I'm not going to try to predict it. I don't think. Actually, yeah, I will. It's fun. I'm going to say $1,000. Let's see if we can get $1,000 from this. $1,002. Almost spot on the money there. But look at our bank account. $11,250. And it looks like my phone's ringing. Let me go ahead and get that. That was actually the realtor, and they said that the landowner of this land down here that we just cleaned up counteroffered at $9,000. So they were asking $10,000. I offered $8,500, and they countered at $9,000. Well, guess what? I've got $11,000 in the bank, and this would be our first bit of land. I think I'm gonna do it. The realtor just came by. We signed all the paperwork. We still have some things to finalize at the bank tomorrow, but this land is now mine. How exciting. Let's get over there and just park our truck on it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now I need to see if there's something that I can purchase or have built here that we can actually maybe sleep in. That would be cool. Let's run off to the store and see if they have any tents or like shed kits or something like that. Maybe they'll have something we can put up on our land just as kind of a storage / sleeping arrangement. That would be really, really good. Here we are. Let's go in and see what they have. I know they don't have a lot of camping stuff, but you never know. All right. My bank account is $500 lighter, but they did have a perfect setup. Let's get back to the land and get this thing pitched. It's a tent, but just wait till you see it. It's going to be perfect for what we need. Here we are, and I got it all set up just before sundown. Are you ready for this? Our new base camp. Here we go. Look at this. $500 for the tent and the furnishings and everything. What a great deal. We're able to put our tools over here. This generator, actually, they threw in with the deal because it's a return and it's broken. But I told them, I would take it. Maybe we can get it fixed to help keep things going here. But yeah, this is home sweet home. looking really good. I'm not sure how long we're going to be able to get away with actually, having this tent here, but maybe we can tell the town it's kind of a job site tent, kind of like a trailer, and that we're planning on building. Who knows? We are planning on building, I think. Eventually, I'd like to have a garage here or a small building for our business. But for now, this is going to be home sweet home. And I think that's going to wrap up the episode as the light starts to die. We made huge progress today. Look at this. This land is ours. We own this. We can do whatever we want with it. Super exciting. And we got our own little house, basically, with a nice little oil lamp to keep us illuminated. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.